How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another XRP update, and exactly what I've been warning of. I've been telling all XRP holders that have been tuning into these updates to be cautious, and I've been warning them for a very long time, ever since we had this bullish pattern. In fact, this bullish pattern was meant to take XRP back up into the target of $3.15, and as $3.15 is also the final ultimate Fibonacci level, the 886 fib. This is the level that must be breached and reclaimed if we want to see the reversal wave, which actually allows all these targets to get met. They are only getting met. The market is only bullish above 315. I've been regurgitating this on a daily basis since the beginning of February, once we actually had this bullish pattern breakout and everyone was getting excited again. I was suggesting that we've got these two upcoming resistance, 265 to 271 as the first area and 296 to 315 as the second targeted area, all through each and every update, suggesting that this could move up into as high as $3.15. It will ultimately roll over. It is not bullish getting up into this price point. It is bearish. It's a bearish retest of a key level of strong support, resistance, previous support, now resistance. So if this is what's causing lower highs, that's keeping downtrend structure. So by breaking this, we're breaking that structure. We're seeing characteristic changes. The market is flipping bullish. It's called the reversal wave. And these targets all become valid. Regardless of if you meet the last one, they're valid at the least. So the possibility of all these targets happening are for certain. That possibility is there once the 886 has been broken and recovered and reclaimed. If it just pumps into the 886, lower highs under the 886, this is bearish. We have the setup there. I've been talking about this setup since the end of January, early February. It's a head and shoulders pattern. This is a multi-year resistance, 7 to 8 years long, guys. And it's also Fibonacci's, other Fibonacci's that have been completed. So when this happens, we're waiting for a bearish pattern to form to basically roll this over once again. And no matter how many times I say on a daily basis, because of everyone else in the community, on Twitter, on YouTube, just being a blind bull always, it's the reason for everyone's demise. I was one of the earliest people on YouTube, and Twitter, just in general, in the crypto community, to warn of these signals. Look at this, all Fibonacci targets are getting met. It's also a resistance we haven't been to in 7-8 years. So why should it just break on the first attempt? No, it makes sense to reject short to mid-term. And now, of course, with the pattern developing, I was one of the earliest to actually envision this before the right shoulder had even developed. It was a macro double top at first with a higher high double top. It's just essentially a fake out because it's come back under, respected this previous resistance as resistance once again. So that also forms not only a double top, but also a triple top or head and shoulders pattern. So one of the earliest to see this, whether you want to believe it or not. I think that myself, coming from the angle of not investing in XRP, I don't have that emotional attachment, so I can actually just see things for what it truly is. And, you know, even the last week where we had these couple reclaims of the neckline over here, that ended up being fake outs. They ended up being traps once again, like what I've been warning. Even though we made a higher high over the where we initially topped out here, it didn't recover 315. It got into the next level, but that's still not good enough. Not only does it need to break this, it can't reject the next. So that's what it did down over here. It broke this, but rejected the next. I need to break this one and the next one without rejecting either. And there's just too many tasks that are needed. And it's just too easy to fail those tasks. So there's so many hurdles in the way. Each time it's failing at the very first hurdle, and there's multiple hurdles. You know what I mean? So now that it's confirmed underneath the neckline, over the last week, I was saying cannot lose the 100 EMA, $2.28. It's all come true. It's all happened. All the warning signals have come true, and it's all happened now. What is the expectation? How does it get out of this situation? Well, let me talk about how it gets out of this situation. First, from here, $2.06 must maintain this wick low. No daily candle closes underneath this point, please. And although I'm sharing you this path right now, this is not the path of my belief. I'm showing you how it gets out of this mess. To get out of this mess, $2.06 must hold, recover the neckline, and 315. It's all good at that point. What do I believe in? Do I think that's going to happen from down here? No, because I need to see it working out step by step. I need to see a move back up into this key area, then flipping into support. Look, we've already had this move over the past couple of weeks, guys, where we bounced from here, recovered the neckline and the moving averages and this level, making a new local high. Wow, incredible. You'd say a lot better position than down over here. You'd have a lot more hope when it was up here than down here. But what happened in the end, when it came to test this key level of support, it didn't hold, and then ultimately needs to hold the moving averages and neckline, right? If it's bullish, it's going to recover the moving averages as it did, close above them, so it's bullish now, so just hold them as support the very next day. Couldn't do that on two separate occasions, showing you what the true expectations should be, which is pumps are false. What I've been saying for literally 2 months now. And if you're still not in belief, if you're still doubting it, you know, I can't help you then. It's all in front of you. It's really basic TA, guys. It is just support and resistance, lower highs, lower lows, or higher highs, higher lows. You know, just trending structure, and nothing is suggested to me day by day, as I have been warning very early on, even with this bullish pattern, I was suggesting it's going to lower high. Even if it meets a target, the target is not higher. The target is back to where it was. There's no expectation after the target is met. The pattern is not suggesting higher, just back to where it was. That is still not good enough because it's the 886 fib. While under the 886 fib, none of these targets are happening. Only when you break the 886 fib, all of these can happen. If under, none of them can happen. It is what it is, what it is. And so with this head and shoulders pattern, the neckline over the past couple of weeks, over the past week, there's been it's been toying around with this area. In the end, confirming its resistance. Last final chance to bounce from here, but as I've been saying over my past updates the last week, ultimately failing to recover the head and shoulders neckline will mean a test of the 200 EMA. So although I can say many things in the videos, I'm always saying what my expectations are, and that has been while under the if this is lost, the 200 EMA is going to be retested while under the head and shoulders neckline. That is the expectation, as well as while under the 886. So even with this strong bounce the other week, you can't be getting excited with anything because it's all about whether it sustains or not. So even if you get a crazy 35% pump in a day, it doesn't mean anything. In fact, if we start to see these crazy bounces all happening in one day, I'll be more fearful than anything else because we're in a downtrend. You're not meant to pump like that, especially out of nowhere. Is it going to sustain? It's most likely not. It needs to be a move that breaks past so many hurdles, and every time it just fails at the very first hurdle. So that is it from me today. You know what needs to happen. I'm personally bearish under 315. I've been correct in doing so. I was suggesting the whole of last week by holding 100 EMA here is going to keep bouncing and trying to reclaim the head and shoulders neckline. We had 2 reclaims and both end up being traps, literally following exactly what I've been suggesting. I don't believe this is bullish whatsoever unless $3.15 is reclaimed. For me personally, I'm not buying here. I'm not buying here because a bounce could just be another lower high and then you can end up going lower. You got the bearish pattern there. My thesis of being bearish goes out the window once I see 315 broken, and I'll actually be more bullish than any of you if 315 is broken. Until then, I'm more bearish than any of you. That is it from me today. If you want to get educated so you can learn to identify these things as early as I did back in January, February, use the links down below to get educated. I've got a Discord community. Not only am I posting further exclusive content in there on a morning, day and night on a daily basis, I've also got live streams. I'll teach you in there live as a group, doing workshops. That's it from me today. I'll catch you in the community. Cheers.